Module overviews. This module focuses on the central role that rural institutions and governance systems play in shaping the outcomes of rural development initiatives. It explores the institutional frameworks, formal and informal structures, policy systems, community organizations, and power dynamics that govern life in rural areas. The success or failure of rural development often hinges not merely on the availability of resources or technical innovations, but on the effectiveness, legitimacy, and inclusivity of the institutions and governance mechanisms that organize access, participation, and service delivery. Key themes and content areas. 1. Understanding rural institution definitions. Institutions as the rules of the game, formal laws, policies, constitutions, and informal, customs, traditions, norms. Institutions as both enabling and constraining forces, role in resource distribution, conflict mediation, and social cohesion. 2. Types of rural institutions. Traditional institutions, chiefs, village elders, religious leaders, formal organizations, ministries, extension departments, cooperatives, local government councils, community-based organizations, CBOs, youth groups, women's associations, savings groups. Hybrid institutions, where formal and informal systems coexist or overlap. 3. Governance and rural development. Governance defined, the process of decision-making and implementation, principles of good governance, transparency, accountability, participation, inclusiveness, responsiveness, rule of law, and effectiveness. Link between decentralized governance and local development, governance failures, elite capture, corruption, exclusion, weak institutions. 4. Decentralization and local governance rationale brings governance closer to the people. Types: political, administrative, and fiscal decentralization, local governments as vehicles for planning, implementation, and service delivery. Challenges: poor capacity, political interference, limited autonomy, funding constraints. 5. Traditional leadership in modern rural governance. The dual legitimacy of traditional authorities in rural governance. Their role in land allocation, conflict resolution, and cultural preservation. The tension between customary law and statutory law, gender implications, and generational shifts in power. 6. The role of farmer-based organizations, FBOs, and cooperatives platforms for collective bargaining, market access, and input procurement, enhancing farmer voice, learning, and resilience. Institutional weaknesses, elite capture, mismanagement, and political interference. Successful case studies: dairy cooperatives in Kenya, rice cooperatives in Vietnam. 7. Women's organizations and gendered institutions as vehicles for empowering rural women. Savings and loans groups, mothers' unions, female farmer cooperatives, addressing exclusion, access to land, credit, technology, and decision-making. 8. Extension institutions and governance interfaces, accountability in extension service delivery, client-responsive systems, pluralism in service delivery, government, NGOs, private, digital, role of feedback mechanisms, evaluation, and participatory planning. 9. Legal and policy frameworks, affecting rural institutions, land tenure laws, cooperative legislation, decentralization acts, legal empowerment of the poor, access to justice, grievance redress mechanisms, impact of reforms on institutional performance. 10th, institutions in conflict management and environmental governance role in managing resource-based conflicts, water, land, grazing. Community environmental committees for natural resource management. Bridging formal and indigenous knowledge for ecosystem conservation. Learning outcomes. By the end of this module, you should be able to understand and classify different types of rural institutions and governance structures. Analyze the roles institutions play in influencing access, equity, efficiency, and sustainability in rural development. Critically examine how decentralization and local governance shape development outcomes. Assess the interplay between formal and informal institutions, especially in hybrid governance systems. Recommend institutional reforms and governance innovations that foster inclusive, accountable, and sustainable rural development.